That's just sports, baby.
Crowd goes wild, strawberry ice bringing fire and style. Reds, Bengals, Bearcats, all in my zone. This is my stage, my mic, my throne. Boom, like a hammer, I'm breaking the game. Strawberry ice, you're gonna know my name. Sports Talk Thunder, hear the podcast roar. Cincy's line is kicking down the door. Step into the lane where the passion ignites. Talking sports all day and all night. From the field to the court to the roaring stands. Strawberry ice with the world in my hands. Boom, like a hammer, I'm breaking the game. Strawberry ice, you're gonna know my name. Sports Talk Thunder, hear the podcast roar. Cincy's line is kicking down the door.
Hey guys, what's going on? Welcome to the show. This is Sports with Strawberry Ice. I'm your host, Iceman Jeff Trunapole. And as always, I'm bringing you sports from West Side point of view right here in the great city of Cincinnati, Ohio. And as always, I'm coming to you live from that ice cave.
All right, shout out to my sponsors. They are Party Lawn and Landscaping for all your lawn and landscaping needs. You need your grass cut, you need shrubbery trimmed, I don't know, you need a paper patio, you need anything. I mean anything. Landscaping required. Think Party Lawn and Landscaping. Also, shout out to T Properties, quality housing for quality people. Check out the website at www.tpropertiesllc.com for all your rental property management needs and your rental needs. And of course, Meyer Window, Door, and more. I got it in my house. I highly recommend you give them yours. They're energy efficient, great looking windows, easy to clean. Meyer Window, Door, and more. The website is MeyerCincinnati.com. And also, shout out to my favorite brewery, Moorline Lager House. Get on down there, get you some delicious Moorline beer, some delicious Moorline food. And tell them I sent you. Moorline Lager House.
That's right. We'll be back down there this Sunday for the Best Day Brewing pregame experience at the Moorline Lager House. Get your tickets. Come on down. We're going to have a great time. We'll be in the big tent with a big-ass TV screen, DJ, and all kinds of fun stuff. That's where I met Seth Walsh, and he's responsible for me wearing this stupid hat. So come on down. It's a great time. We're down there. And if you're wondering why I'm wearing this hat, if you guys didn't watch the show when Cincinnati Councilman Seth Walsh was on the show, he's a Xavier grad, and we made a bet for the Crosstown Shootout. I lost again. With that being said, let's get this over with. Let's just get to, he's a nice guy. I like him. He likes to talk trash. He's Seth Walsh. What's up, Seth? How are you, sir?
Jeff, you look so good right now.
This I think this thing burns a little bit. I don't really like it. It's
blue really brings out your eyes. I think you should.
Is that
wear
what
it
it
more.
is? Is that what it is?
I think so.
Okay.
I think so.
Yeah.
You know, I just want to point out that it's not my fault you're wearing this hat right now. It is the University of Cincinnati's basketball team and Xavier University who made it possible. You know, defense is not a thing you guys are taught. That's okay. That's fine. But you look so good, man. I was worried for like half a second.
Well, we were coming back, but then we were talking trash back and forth on the on text message, and I was feeling good there for a little bit, and then it's like, oh crap. Like I told you, I said I don't know what it is. Xavier, for some reason, when they play this game, one, they can't miss a shot. Two, they always find some random dude that we've never heard of all of a sudden be able to turn around and throw the ball backwards, and it would go in.
So you should know how to game plan for it by this stage. I mean,
you would think so.
Six of the last 7 years, it's gone Xavier's way, and you're still betting on UC. And now you have to wear that hat.
I know. Well, hey, I'm the same guy that was holding out hope that the Reds were going to sign Kyle Schwarber, and that didn't happen either. So,
So do you want to tell the people where you found that hat? I know we were trying to figure that out yesterday here at Meyer. It was in the winter section, right?
No, well, actually, the funny thing, there was no Xavier hat there because they don't sell that stuff on my side of town. So I had to get, all they had was Ohio State, Bearcats, and Red stuff there. That was it. So they were, I guess, all the losers were there. So it's just the loser section was there. They had no Xavier stuff. Unfortunately, we had to go try. Literally, I had to go to like 2 or 3 stores to find like. Does nobody have a Xavier hat over here? I'm like, I got a couple of Xavier fans. I'm like, can I borrow a hat? And they're like, I don't have one that fits your big head. I'm like, oh, crap. All right.
They probably don't trust you with it. They're worried about what you're gonna do as soon as the camera goes dark. They're like, "What are you gonna do with that hat?"
Right, exactly.
I think you should save it because you're gonna have to wear it next year when I win.
No,
This
I'm not.
again.
No. Next year you're wearing a UC hat. It's happening.
So you're gonna buy 2 hats
No.
for Xavier when you've lost it back to back.
No, I'm not buying another one. We're going undefeated the rest of my life that I know you. UC's going to win all of them.
I've got a bridge to sell you in New York too, by the way.
How about just get the bridge at Cincinnati built? I'll take that. That'll work.
Well, I'm working on that. See, that's what happens with the Xavier education. We're going to solve that problem. But just like we took on March Madness, I really didn't think that we are going to get the Crosstown Shootout here. I think when you and I first met, I was like, man, we're going to lose this year. Now look at us. You're wearing a hat.
I thought you were too. Like the thing kills me, Seth, is like honestly, and I'm not trying to talk treasure. The UC has a more talented team. They got guys that are going to go play pro. I mean, they should have played better. But I got worried. I texted you this. I told you last time you're on the show. Once we lost to Western Michigan or Eastern Michigan or where the hell that MAC school was, I went to the game. We lost that game. I'm like, and we weren't even in that game. I'm like, oh crap, this is not good. This is looking like last year where we started off good and then we lost to. I think it was a bad UConn team we lost to last year, and I'm like, that's not good. And then we hit Big 12 and went.
Well, I mean, I wasn't sure where we were getting with Rick Pitino, and they're showing growth. They're showing a good trajectory. They came and the goal is for them to stay at Xavier for a while, right? We're not trying to just have everybody transfer out again.
Talk to us about football coaches, and we got one now. We can't get rid of though.
Yeah, you guys are stuck in purgatory. He got you to a bowl game. You can't even talk trash about him.
We're in the Liberty Bowl. Yay!
There was a minute you guys thought your quarterback was going to be a Heisman candidate. I mean,
dude, it wasn't just us talking about it. There was legit national media talking about it, and it's the same as last year. We get to the last 4 or 5 games of the season, and we decide that we just don't want to win football games anymore, and I don't get it. And we can't fire this guy because we owe him too much money. So I think after next year we can fire Sat. I think.
Wasn't this the last year of his contract?
No, he signed like a 5-year contract.
I don't understand with all these football programs out there, basketball programs out there signing these long-term contracts to coaches. Like, are we not seeing what happens with that? Every program is trying to get out from these 7-8 year contracts. It seems like at what point are we going to course adjust and be like, you get a couple of years to prove yourself? It's NIL now. It's not 4 years to get your recruits in.
Well, that's one of the thing that kills me. If you look at Indiana, their coach has only been there 2 years. 2.
Yeah.
And he's got the number 1 team in the country. I'm like, it's and probably most likely the Heisman Trophy award winner. So I mean, you can get better quick. Like Brad's got. I think Brad would have it. It's 6 years, 100% of it's guaranteed. Ooh. That's the contract he's got. Louisville was like, thank you very much for taking him off.
Weren't they like about ready to fire him before you guys hired him away and had to pay for his severance?
Yeah, pretty much. They're trying to run him out of town, and we're like, hey, we got a football team that went to the college football playoffs. Let's get a guy who couldn't win in the ACC and bring him here to try to win in the Big 12, which is
I see no problem with that. Yeah, I will admit, as a Xavier fan, I was very bummed when that happened because it didn't inspire confidence. I feel like UC was in a position you could have gone and hired anybody, and people were ready to come there. You guys are about to make the move to the Big 12. It's been a rocky start there. I hope the pieces come together next year. I mean, Xavier obviously doesn't have football, so I don't have to talk.
Hey, we can kick your ass in football. I mean, all day long, we destroy you in football.
I'm pretty confident that our club football quarterback would somehow become the greatest quarterback of all time if we played you guys.
Oh God, I hope not. I mean, but back to your point, like that's one thing I thought is like we did the Tommy Tuberville thing, and that was a disaster. And then when we hired D'Antonio, we hired Brian Kelly, we hired all these other guys. We hired Fit. All these guys, they were coordinators or they were coaches at smaller schools, working their way up. I'm like, that's a proven way to go about doing this. every time we've taken a coach from somewhere else that he was good, which he really wasn't, come here and he sucks. And I'm not saying Stafford. I mean, we got a bowl game, but he's not to where the level of football that we want to be. I mean,
Right.
it's kind of like I'll put it with the Reds and Kyle Schwarber. I mean, I just read something here that they were talking about signing him because it might drive ticket sales up. Well, you know what would drive ticket sales up? Winning baseball teams. Like, if you're willing to spend, if it's true that it was 5 years, they have for 5 years, $125 million. Go get somebody else. There's other free agents out there that can help us. Like, but now, like, nope, we didn't get Kyle. It's okay. We're just going to go to spend on same guys we had last year and probably not make the playoffs.
I mean, don't you love the ambition though? If they're willing to take that swing, it's kind of how FC Cincinnati built themselves. They started showing they're willing to take some swings. Didn't work out all the time, but then eventually they started clicking. And look at them. I mean, they're competitive every
Right.
year.
That's
and
the
good
thing.
reason to think they're going to be good next year.
Right. I don't get that. That's where I'm like, if you the blueprint is right there. FC Cincinnati. I mean, they're sold out almost every game. They and people are, and there's a ton of games there. I mean, that season is ridiculously long. People talk about how long baseball is. I mean, they start in like into February, beginning of March, and they go to November. I mean, it's a long ass season, and fans show up for it because they win. Like, wow, what a concept! Reds, you might want to win. People show up more. We don't need the newest ice cream. We don't need the newest bobblehead. We want to win.
Well, the Reds seem to have been, they seem to be trying to build the team, right? Youth development. It's just, they're not hitting at the right time, right? We had like a really good summer of hits, and then we had a really good summer of pitching, but they haven't been the same summer.
Yeah. Well, I think it's like you built this team up. It's like, all right, cool. You got this. You're at this point here. Now's the time to go add some stuff, some veterans to get yourself over that hump, because it's hard for young guys to get over that hump. I mean, I'll go back to, I know you weren't in town here then, but when the Reds got Scott Rowland, and we had Jay Bruce, and we had Joey Votto, and all those guys, and he helped them get over that hump. Now, we didn't win a playoff series, but we got to the playoffs. We had some really good teams those years. So that to me, that's where Kyle Schwarber would have helped. A veteran guy like that would help. They need to add to it. And I don't mean Austin Hayes and guys off the scrap heap. Go get somebody who's legit power hitter, who's been in the playoffs, been there, done that, is what they need to do, I think. But it doesn't look like it's going to happen.
Well, fingers crossed, the next collective bargaining agreement, we're going to get a salary cap, and the Reds will be back.
Yeah, I've been hearing that for 50. I've been hearing that for 50 years. We'll see what happens. Well, hey, we got Reds opening day. We got the best opening day around with the parade and everything. I'll be down at Moreland Logger House doing a show there the night before. Are you going to be there the night before for the Reds Community Fund? Have they told you about that?
Not yet, but I'm sure I'll find my way there. Yeah,
you have to come and show up. It's a good time. You can come on the show and talk trash with me again, because I do.
I love that.
Oh yeah, I do a podcast like the whole time we're there. So yeah, it's a great time.
All right, well, I'll be back for that. Jeff, you look so good in blue. You got to just wear it every day going forward.
I'm sure it's hurting. I'll let you go on that note. Seth, I'm a man of my
Jeff.
word. I kept up with my bet, so I'll next year you're wearing the Bearcat hat. All right, buddy.
Oh no, sure, okay.
All right, see you, Seth.
See you, man.
All right. With that being said, let's get to my other guest for today. I know he's as irritated about the Reds as I am, because I saw some of his tweets. We also can talk about the Bengals and what the hell are we going to do. He is from A to Z Sports. He is John the Brain Sheeran. What's up, John?
Yeah, the picture you used for the promotional one, where it's just me and my face in my hands, is it's pretty accurate at this point.
Yeah, I saw that. I'm like, I'm using that one. That one's pretty pretty accurate to where we are in Cincinnati sports here. That's what I said. That's why I'm wearing this stupid hat. I should have grabbed another hat, but I told my.
Can you take it off now? Like, please. I don't want to look at it.
Here, I'll do this. Here.
That's fine. Yeah,
that better?
That's good.
All right, that's better. Makes me feel a little better.
Yeah.
So all right, where do we want to start? I saw you some of your tweets about Kyle Schwarber and everything. We could discuss that a little bit, or you want to just dive into the Bengals? Where do you want to go with this, John?
The Reds. It was like 2 weeks of, I would see every now and then, like, oh, like they're gonna go after Kyle Schwarber. All right, okay.
I was hoping
like a high price free agent in baseball. The Reds are gonna sign him. The Reds.
The Reds.
The Reds, who cry poor even more than the Bengals in a completely the fraudulent system that the MLB is. The Reds are going to go ahead and sign him, right? The Reds offered him what, 125 million. He ended up being 150. And then Charlie Goldsmith, who does a great job of covering these terrible ass teams, said, "Oh yeah, they were prepared to offer him 125 million, and they didn't want to go more than that because then Kyle Schwarber ended up getting more than expected." That's how free agency works, man. It's always more than expected. You go out and get the guy that you want. They can't do it. They cry poor. Oh no. Okay then. Sell the freaking team then. Like, what are we doing? It's the same thing every time. It's like they cry like, "Oh, we're going to develop guys from within, and then we're going to coach them up." You can't coach them up because Tito can't coach apparently either. It's like there's nothing here. There's nothing here. There's pageantry, there's tradition, and there's people that will line up thousands and thousands for people opening day, delusional, thinking that anything's going to change. This team is a novelty. They are not serious in any capacity, especially in the current climate the MLB is. You need freaking cash, and they don't have it.
Well, they have it. They're just not willing to spend it. I'll put it to you that way. But yeah, it's annoying. It's like, and the thing that drives me nuts is like, oh, well, we were willing to try to go get Kyle Schwarber to drive ticket sales, but now we're not going to go spend any money on anybody else. Like, well, do you understand what, like we just talked about with Seth? Winning. Win. That drives ticket sales. Win. Like, why is that so hard to figure out? And the thing is, we went through all these years, the 100 season loss, or that or 100 loss season, I'll put it that way. In the last couple of years, and we built all this up. We got all these young guys. We got a really good pitching staff, and all you really needed to do is go get a bat or two. That's what you need. You need to add to this team, and they're sitting right there. You could have got it. Go all out. Go get Kyle Schwarber. Sign that man. Sign somebody. Like, why are they so unwilling to do? I don't want to hear that we ain't got the money. Then, like you said, sell the team then. If you don't have the money to compete, sell the freaking team, because this is stupid. I'm tired of this. Like, oh, well, we got a great young nucleus. That, if it wasn't for the Mets, they wouldn't have made the playoffs last year. The Mets historically collapsed. That's the only reason they made the playoffs last year. And unless they go do something that they're not willing to do, where it's going to be the same as last year. And it's frustrating.
The Reds are fun. Like they're fun to watch every now and then. It's fun to go down to the games, and it's fun to just like lay back and just chill with your friends and see if they can surprise you and see if they have some good games. And they always manage to find, decent players throughout the farm system, and they develop them, and then they get paid by some other team, and then it's just back to start. And it's just like, right. Okay, you have a decent base. Just go out there and fill out the rest of the team. Right. If you don't want to do it, if you think that your way, it's like having the same conversation on the banks with both teams. If you feel like your way is the best way to do it, you have some results to back it up. At least the Bengals have won some playoff games in my life.
Yeah,
it's been what, 1995? I was born in 96 for the Reds. Like, it's just like, this doesn't work. It doesn't work.
You have never seen them win a playoff series ever.
No.
Oh God. I like I said, and the thing that kills me is like everybody always talks about how bad of an owner Marge Schott was. Marge Schott actually wanted to win. When she owned the team, she spent money. You say what you want about all her comments. I'm just talking purely as an owner. She won. They won a World Series. She wanted to win. And the thing that kills me, John, like you said, they've developed players. They have a core. They have that could win. You just got to sprinkle some more guys in there. We play at GABP. I don't know. Get a guy who can hit home runs. We have nobody that can hit the ball out of the ballpark in one of the easiest home run hitting parks in baseball. We can't.
Other teams can.
Yeah.
They have sluggers.
Right. I mean, how many games did we lose last year because we couldn't score? I mean, we would have games where we score 15 runs, and then we go a week with scoring 2 runs. All right, like, oh, it's just.
But that's just my perspective of what the team is. Because again, I'm going to turn 30 next year. The Reds are just like a really fancy minor league team to me. Like, they're not competing for World Series, and I don't expect them to ever compete for World Series.
Not with this ownership.
Like if people just in the building heard that and they rationalized it, they're like, oh, maybe we need to do something differently because the next generation of fans here aren't taking us seriously, and they're never going to take you seriously. I feel like the whole aura with the Reds is built upon people that were born before me, and eventually, like that, there's going to be a transition period, and then people are just going to go to the games to just have some, decent fun every now and then, but no one's actually going to take the team seriously, and that sucks. That freaking sucks. That's a team that should probably move it eventually, but they're never going to move the first team in MLB history or pro sports history. So yeah, it's just what it is.
I mean, that's my generation. I mean, I was born in 75, so they won the World Series 75, 76. I heard about it my whole life. I grew up as a young kid, Pete Rose, Johnny Bench, all that. And then in 1990, they won the World Series. I was 15. and like I said, when Marge was there, if they had the playoffs like they do now, we would have been in the playoffs almost every year. We finished second like 5 years in a row in the 80s. And so exactly what you said, my generation, and they keep bringing back, let's bring back the grade 8. Well, they're all passing away. That's the point. You can't, it's getting to the point where you can't bring these guys back because they're not going to be here. I mean, Morgan's gone. Rose is gone. I mean, the rest of them are getting older. I mean, you can't keep relying on your, and I've got 55 freaking bobbleheads in here. I don't need any more bobbleheads. I don't need any more Reds bobbleheads. I don't need any more calendars. I don't need any of this promotional stuff. I want to win. My son and daughter, just like you, have never seen them win a playoff series ever. Not even barely even made the playoffs. Like since 1995. Like you said, we've made the playoffs, I want to say 4 times. 10, 12. 13, 12, and 20, and then last year. So, all right, that's 5 times. That's it. It's since 1995. I was 20 in 1995. That was a long time ago. And they haven't done anything. And it's just like, and they expect it. And yes, we will show up for opening day because it's a party. It's fun. But after that, we want to win. I mean, I used to go when I was younger in the old stadium. I would probably go to 25, 30 games a year. And we go buy tickets up in the top 6. And I want because they're competitive games. I have a hard time going down there and watching them. Not last year, they didn't get their head kicked in, but last year it was frustrating because you just couldn't score enough, and it was so obvious. It's kind of like the Bengals defense. It's so obvious what they should have done last year in the offseason. Fix the defense, get a defensive end, get an interior guy with a pass rusher, get a safety, still had to fix the defense. And then, no, we're just going to go with young guys, and we're going to put all of our eggs in Al Golden, and he's going to fix everything. No, it's like the Reds are like, well, we got a whole bunch of young guys, and maybe they'll develop. We got a lot of pitching, which is great. I mean, first time in my lifetime we've had a ton of pitching, but it's the same thing. It's like they're not willing to do, and I'm not saying a big effort, just a little bit. Take a little step forward of your uncomfortability of outside of the money you want to pay and go add to the team. I don't think it's going to take a whole lot to make this team a competitive playoff World Series contending team. You need offense, and they don't have any.
That's what Morgan say. It just feels like I'm talking in circles with both teams in terms of just their stubbornness about how to win and how to build a team. And again, if the results reflected that process and their staunchiness to stick to it, then there wouldn't be this outrage. Like, that's just as simple as that.
And that's the thing. It's like everybody gets all, and I don't get this too, John. Like so many people, it seems like get so mad at Mike Brown and so mad, like, we're going to protest. Like when the Bengals were doing real bad, I had 3 people, let's go protest the Bengals. Let's go do this. We need to make sure that Mike Brown sells the team. What? Like, I'm sorry, Mike Brown and the Bengals have won more playoff games the last 30 years than the Reds have. They went to the Super Bowl. Reds haven't done anything. Why aren't people more pissed off at Castellini? I don't get it. It's like they get a pass. Like the Castellinis have convinced Cincinnati fans they ain't got the money. They have the money. They can spend it. They choose not to. That's the thing. That's the difference. And I don't understand why people are not more mad at the Castellinis. Like everybody throws Mike Brown under the bus, and I'm not defending him. Mike Brown, there's a whole list of reasons why, of things he's done over the last 30 years, why you should be upset with him. But Castellini hasn't done anything. Like when he took this team over in 2005, he said, and I quote, I'm going to bring championship baseball back to Cincinnati. That was 2005 or 4, whatever year he bought it. We're 2025. We ain't won crap. You know? Like, why isn't anybody holding him to that same standard that they hold Mike Brown?
Personally, I just don't know a lot about Castellini because, again, I just don't care. I don't care about the Reds like I used to when I was a kid because I just don't take him seriously. And maybe if I did take him seriously, I would look up his net worth and everything like that. I see how the rest of the sport and the MLB is evolving, and clearly the Reds aren't following suit in that. And that leads again to like, okay, like it's just you're just giving me more evidence to just not care. I think with the Bengals and Mike Brown, I've always been more invested in that personally. I've been a much bigger Bengals fan in my life, and the NFL is in an environment in which it forces Mike Brown to, pony up some cash more often compared to Castellini because of the salary cap rules and the minimum spending over a 4-year period and things of that nature, right? The Bengals have the luxury of leaning on certain safeguards that, create a sort of parity that just doesn't exist in pretty much any other sport. And that's why, like, the Bengals can somewhat get away with their frugality, whereas the Reds just live in perpetual mediocrity because of it. Like you said, out of their own volition and out of their own choice. Again, like I just don't care enough, and maybe I should, and maybe other people should in order to get some change in here, but I just don't.
I mean, I care. Like I said, I grew up when they won, so I've seen them win. So I do care. That, like I just said, I don't want to hear that they don't have the money. They offered him a 5-year, $125 million contract. They've got the money. They just don't want to spend it. That's the part that pisses me off. It's like, and you're like, well, we can't spend the money. We need a salary cap. You bought the team, dude. You knew what it was before you bought the team. You're the one that made the statement you're bringing championship baseball back. You made that statement. You bought the team. You knew what you were getting into. That's on you. If you didn't know that, you should have bought the damn team. All right. With that being said, the hell are the Bengals going to do? I mean, look, everybody's like, I've had some people like, oh, the season's over, which I mean, the season's over. Yes, there's a very slight chance. I mean, the Bengals got to win out. Ravens got to go 2-2, and I think the Steelers got to go 1-4 or something like that. So, but the crazy thing is, John, I could totally see us winning on Sunday and beating Baltimore. What's your thoughts of going into Sunday's game? Trey Hendrickson, Burton, any other topics you want to cover here?
Yeah, let's start with Burton. I think everyone knew that it was going to happen in the offseason. There was just no way he's going to be back in 2026. Whatever happened in terms of him missing his flight, not traveling with the team, getting suspended, that they're going to keep that under wraps, and that was the final straw. It's not a costly decision in terms of how much money they're going to take on in terms of salary cap, dead money, or anything like that. But you couldn't even get to 2 years with this guy, and you pounded the table in elation when you drafted him, knowing that every other team had basically either taken him off their board or weren't going to draft him until much later than the third round. You proclaimed that this guy was a steal and a value pick in the third round, and presumably you knew at least some of the risk with him attached to him, and it just seemed like they never really took it that seriously, and they were almost surprised and dumbfounded by the fact that this guy needed some help. And again, I'm not absolving Jermaine Burton of any blame here. He's a grown person. He's 24 years old. He's not the only person at that age that's taking on this much responsibility for himself. Like, there's obviously a certain level of personal responsibility that you have when you're a professional athlete, and just to conduct your own business and to make sure that you get the things that you need to get done. I also recognize that clearly entering the NFL and exiting college, there were some issues with him, and there was definitely risk about that. And if the Bengals didn't take that risk seriously and didn't provide him with at least some level of resources to make sure that he was able to do what he needs to do, then that's why the blame is partially on him. Again, the Bengals stuck their necks out for this guy to invest a premium pick.
Third-round pick.
A third-round pick and the 80th overall pick. You can get a really good player at a really good value at that spot, and they chose a guy that, again, probably wasn't going to get drafted until maybe at least 2 rounds later at the earliest, right? They stuck their necks out for him, and the effort and the resources that they put into making sure that pick worked did not match the level of excitement that they had. It was just like, oh, I can't believe no one drafted this guy. Now we get to have him. Oh my God, I can't believe that he's a problem like everyone thought he was. Like, what?
Yeah, they took that third-round pick and lit it on fire. I mean, what makes it even worse is the drafting that they've had the last couple of years that hasn't developed. I mean, yes, DJ Turner has done good right now. Joseph Osai is looking good. Miles Murphy is starting to make a turn, but the problem is we needed Miles Murphy and Joseph Osai to make a turn earlier than this. And now you got Shamar Stewart, who can't even get on the field, and you just take a third-round pick and just burn it for no reason whatsoever. And that's kind of why one of the reasons why the Bengals are where they are right now. And I've said this ad nauseum, is the drafting and developing of how they need to change their philosophy, I think, especially in the early rounds, of getting guys who make immediate impact. I mean, Shamar Stewart maybe in 3 years might be really good. I'm not out on the guy, but your first round pick, especially now when you need immediate impact on your defense, you need to draft a guy who can make immediate impact on your defense, and they need to do that next year. And to totally just whiff, or not even say whiff, don't even address the safety issue at all throughout the draft or free agency last year is crazy. I mean, I saw Stone literally. I don't know, his first quarter of the game, the Buffalo Bills is running for a first down, and he runs up to him and kind of like hugs him, and then kind of escorts him past the first down line out of bounds. It's like, hit the dude. Like, first down marker is here. You hugged him here and escorted him to. Oh, here you go, sir. Here's your first down. Thank you for coming. Like, why, John? Why? Why? I watched that play. I'm like, what are you doing?
Yeah, there was certain issues about the defense that weren't going to magically get solved when they faced one of the best offenses in the NFL in a venue in which the Bills have not been under 30 points. Like, they've only been under 30 points twice this year at home. And I mean, it was the snow, right? I mean, it's like, it's not benefiting one team or the other, right? But when you have a moose at quarterback and Josh Allen with a full head of steam and no one's spying on him on the most important down of the game, seems problematic,
Or don't play man. Don't play man. It's 3rd and 15. That big dude right there, the big quarterback, yeah, he might run.
Yeah. I mean, all these problems can be traced back to long before this week. And
yes.
I mean, with the safety position, yes, it was there were people within the building that expected investment there. And for whatever reason, that belief did not align with the actual decision makers. And that was something that was felt throughout the coaching staff a little bit. I think Shamar, but going back to Burden real quick, like, they made that pick out of preparation for moving on from T. Higgins in the first place, which is a problem in and of itself, because at that point you should not have been prepared ever to move on from T. Higgins when you can just pay the dude like you did a year later, right?
Right.
And then the more that Burden lost trust in his rookie year, the more important it became to make sure that you get T signed and taken care of. So then when you pay T, it's like, where does Burden even fit in this equation? And it's the same thing with drafting Dax, when you could just pay Jesse Bates a normal rate of a normal contract like he got from Atlanta, right? So like they're
Or
their
DJ
quote-unquote
Reader.
vision.
DJ Reader. Yeah, we
Exactly.
go. Let's
Like,
go on. Keep going. Sorry.
Their vision in terms of just like, who do we want to replace ahead of time, and who do we want to make sure that, like, we want to feel comfortable moving on from. Their hit rate there is so incredibly low, right? It's like they drafted, and Miles Murphy has been playing well right now, but they drafted Miles Murphy because they expected to move on from Trey Hendrickson, and then they didn't.
That's who was supposed to replace Jesse Bates.
Exactly. I just said that. So like they've done so many of these decisions, and very, very minimal times has it actually worked out in their favor. So they just ended up having a collection of players that need development, aren't getting development because players are either staying here or they're leaving, and they're replacing, square pegs, round holes, et cetera, et cetera. It's just a whole jumbled mess. And it just makes you realize that there's no actual cohesive vision about what this team is right now and going forward.
Yeah. And that's for me, it's like, because people keep asking, do I think Zach Taylor's going to get fired? I don't. Should he? Maybe. But I don't. To me, the core problem isn't necessarily Zach. It's the drafting and developing. I put that on Duke Tobin because they've put him out. Now, the crazy thing is, and I didn't know this till Satori came on here and told me this, we literally don't have anybody listed as GM was their title. Mike Brown is just president. We have like 4 assistant GMs. You have Duke Tobin, who's, I guess, the GM, but he's player personnel developer. What? So who? I guess the question is, who's actually in charge? Who is the one that makes the final decision? Who is it? Duke? Is it Mike? Is it Katie? Mike, right there. Like, do we have a actual bam, this is like, I don't care about rubber stamp. Boom, we're doing this. Who's the guy? I mean, is it Zach? I mean, I don't know. I don't know if there is one guy that you can sit there and say, this is the guy. This is the. I have a vision. Let's go. Let's execute this plan. But like you just said, they don't have that. And that's where I'm like, that's the part that's got to change. Either Duke's got to say, I'm the guy, promote him to GM, which right now I wouldn't do. Take one of those other 4 guys they got as assistant GMs, say he's the guy or she's the guy, and like, look, this is our plan. This is what we're going to do, and we're going to stick with it. We can't. And I don't want to hear this. Well, we couldn't sign free agents last year because we're really all concentrated on signing Jamar and T. You should have signed Jamar and T 2 years ago, and it shouldn't take your entire front office to sign 2 guys, especially when you're talking to one agent. So that's the point. That's the thing with me is like, have a plan and execute it. And I've seen them do it. And they did it when, I was going to say, this is when Joe and Jamar and T didn't make any money, but we went out and signed Trey Hendrickson, we signed Chidobe Awuzie and Mike Hilton, all these guys. So they found free agents that they paid good money to come in here and produce. So I've seen them do that. It's just they've got away from that for some reason, and I don't know why. It just doesn't make any sense to me.
Here's the problem. We have these discussions constantly about identifying where the blame needs to go, right? There's blame on Zach for his in-game decision-making. There's blame on Duke for being the figurehead of the personnel department. And when you dive deeper into what is actually going on here, the messier and more confusing it gets, and that is by design. Like, the Bengals don't want clarity about what they do and how they do things internally, because if there was clarity, then there would be an easier way to identify what they're doing wrong. So when there's blame on Zach, when there's blame on Duke, there's typically the highest people up in the building that basically get away scot-free. And I'm not saying that all of this is on Mike Brown, but Mike Brown is the guy that has the power to actually appoint someone as GM, and he's never done that. Paul Brown never did that when he was owning the team. He didn't want his son doing that, and I'm assuming that he doesn't want his kin doing that either. Unfortunately, I think Duke is better at doing GM type things than he gets credit for, but he doesn't have the actual power, like you alluded to actually make some of the decisions that he wants to make. He's not negotiating, unfortunately, with some of these free agents because it's Katie, and Katie obviously is even worse in terms of just the stinginess and the frugality than her dad is, which is why coaches don't even get. Coaches enter the offseason saying, like, there's a list of players that we're not even going to be entertaining because they're going to cost too much, and they have to work with limited resources there. And then when the draft comes around, Duke, instead of having this iron fist as the GM, he delegates some things to coaches and delegates some decisions to position coaches about who they want to draft, and it becomes this jumbled mess because there's no clarity. There's no actual GM in charge there because the powers that be don't want there to be.
And that's
and again, just sorry, like that should end the discussion there. If we're talking about a team that should contend for a Super Bowl, they don't have a GM. They're already so far behind any other team that actually has a shot at this.
Yeah, and that's the frustrating thing. It's like, and they should contend for a Super Bowl every year. We should not be going into our 3rd year here of not making the playoffs. I don't care what happened with Joe Burrow playing or not playing. If you had addressed these issues or kept some of your players that you should have kept, your defense would have been better and they would have been in these games and we'd be going to the playoffs for the 3rd year in a row probably. That's the thing. It's like you said, there's nobody to blame. I blame all of them. I'm blaming everybody. I'm like, there's not one person to blame. You blame all of them. Like, that's the thing. It's like there is no direction or like I said this. I saw their plan last year. I didn't like their plan. I said this a million times. All their plan last year was like, we're going to get Al Golden, and he's going to develop. He's a player developer. Where he's going to develop all these first, second round picks that we got. He's going to develop them all. Well, that's a great plan, but we need them developed in week 1 through 5, not 5 through 10. We need them now. That's not something that just happens overnight. And for them to think that it was going to be good enough or that Joe Burrow would fix everything. That's the other thing too. And they're right about this. Joe does fix a lot of stuff, but you can't always rely on Joe Burrow to fix everything. Just look at Sunday. He made two bad plays and we lost the game. And that's where I'm like, we can't have this wire thin margin of error where if Joe has a bad game or Joe makes a bad play, we lose. Like Josh Allen, they made bad plays. They turned the ball over, but they were able to overcome it. The Bengals right now can't. They're not good enough. And that's the part that just pisses you off because, John, we should be talking with Joe Burrow like people talk about with Patrick Mahomes. Winning, well, have already won a Super Bowl or two, or going to more of them. This is where the conversation should be because Joe Burrow is unfreaking believable. If you look at the passes he made in the snow, the accuracy, the windows he's throwing these tight spirals in, and it's unbelievable. And we are freaking wasting it, and it's just frustrating as hell because it seems so simple to fix. Like oh, they had us believing we can't afford Jesse Bates. Yeah, they could have. And we couldn't afford to sign DJ Reader. Yeah, they could have. And they could have signed T and Jamar. All of that could have fit under the salary cap. Just those two moves right there would have made this defense better. It's just mind-numbingly frustrating. That's where, like, I'm banging the table. Something that's got to change from the front office down. It's got to, or we're going to be doing the same thing over and over and over again.
So what happens then when nothing changes? Like when we're doing this in March? Like,
I'll be doing the same thing.
I'm serious. Like,
Yeah.
like what is the conversation at that point? Because how many times can us collectively talk ourselves into things just working out in their vision? Like the only time it ever worked out within their vision was 2021, and that's when they made smart, wise, affordable decisions in the offseason and built the team. Yeah,
that's what gives me hope, or pisses me off because I've seen them do it. So why the hell could you do it then and you're not doing it now? I don't understand. You know what to do. I've seen it. It's not like they don't know what to do. We've seen them do it. So why are they refusing to do it? That's what I don't get.
I think someone brought a good friend on Twitter, St. Palmy, brought this up. Salary cap dropped in 2021 because of COVID. Like it instead of increasing by 20 million, like drop it like 10 or 15. And because of that, the free agent market was affected and prices weren't as high as they probably were expected, which is why you got Mike Hilton for 4 years, 24, Chidobe Awuzie for 3 years, 21. I'm blanking on, like, Trey Hendrickson even was still like a relative value compared to what he was expected to get, 4 years, 60. Decisions like that in terms of just like the value of which they got to fill out that team. And obviously the draft that they just had in 2020, it was like a perfect storm of like, oh, we can go out and offer these guys, deals that we're comfortable with, and they're good players. And because of the nature of what, the market is at that moment in time, because, the NFL's revenue was affected by COVID in 2020, that's how that all kind of came together. And they're able to kind of repeat that again in 2022 with the offensive line, and they still were able to put out a good team. But ever since then, they haven't been as willing to dip into some of those waters in free agency, and they've tried to hit with some of these value signings, but the players aren't nearly as good enough, and that's definitely reflected in the results. And the drafting has been very spotty since then at best as well. So It's been both of those things combining with the fact that, again, you have coaches wanting one thing and the fake GM wanting something else, and just trying to make it all work, and it's just not working. And that's why, regardless of how the season ends, they have to recognize that entering December 4 games below 500 for the second consecutive year is unacceptable.
Right. And that's, like you said, you asked, what do we do? The only thing we can do is keep banging the drum on this. And the other thing is, fans don't go to the game if this doesn't happen, if they don't change stuff. I mean, because it will happen. If they don't make changes, that season ticket waiting list they have will go away real quick. I guarantee you, if they don't. That's where I don't. They can't be this dumb, but they can be. But to me, you can't be. They're smart people. You can't go into this offseason and do the same thing you've done the last 2 offseasons and sell that to Bengals fans. I don't think Bengals fans are going to buy it. And if they don't, they're going to have a revolt on their hand, I think. And people are going to be getting out of their season tickets or getting off the waiting list or whatever. And that's when they go, ooh, well, maybe we should do something. And that's what happened, I think, the last year when Marvin was here. People were sick of it, and they went and got Zach. That and Bengals fans know what we have with Joe Burrow, with T. Higgins, where we should have already won a Super Bowl. We should have been to more ones. We should be going to playoffs every year, and we're wasting this time. I don't think Bengals fans are going to put up with it. So this is, to me, hopefully the Brown family is smart enough to figure out this is a crucial offseason for you, because you're on the verge of losing your fan base, and you don't want. And like the Reds, I still don't know how the hell the Reds have a fan base for doing what they do. Because like I said, I go to Reds games. I don't go to nearly as many as I used to. I like I said, I used to go to 30 games a year. I go to maybe 2 or 3. I go to opening day if I get tickets, and a couple other ones. That's about it.
Yeah. Paul Williams in the comments passes differently about them being this dumb. I will say this. They are smart enough to keep their head barely above water. They are smart enough to realize that so long as Joe Burrow, Jamar Chase, and T. Higgins are there, people are going to still enough people are going to show up to watch them because it's still fun, it's still entertaining, and it's still going to keep them competitive, right? They are relying, like you said, these razor thin margins are there because they're relying on very special players propping up self-inflicted or what's the word I'm looking for here? Deficiencies that they are accepting because they're not willing to put in the extra mile to make this team as good as possible. And they are expecting the special players that they knew that they needed to pay eventually to just prop up everything else in the operation and just skate by and somehow win a Lombardi. It almost worked 4 years ago. And I wonder how much of that is still holding on to them. Like, oh, if we just make, a couple of more decisions here and there, we can get back to that point. And I don't think people realize enough how much of a lightning in the bottle moment that was, where everything just collectively came together so perfectly, and it still did not work to its fullest potential. And I think they realized that if so long as they have the faces and the names that will attract enough people to the stadium, that's how they can skate by, if you will. But I think also to a point where they fired Marvin Lewis after 3 losing seasons. This is going to be the 3rd consecutive year in which Zach Taylor's not going to make the playoffs. There's something to be said there about something does need to change. I just wonder how much change is actually going to come from this.
Yeah, and to your point where it all came together, which you're right, and this is where again, and I call them dumb, but the smart thing to look at this is what happened. What did they do to make it all come together? Yeah, they got Joe Burrow, they got T. Higgins, they got Jamar Chase. But it's also the people they brought in from free agency. That's the difference. And they drafted well. That's the thing. So to me, if they're looking at this smartly, like, what did we do 3 years ago that worked? Okay, we did this, this, and this. Well, we did a really good job of scouting free agents or whatever, and got the right guys that were young and coming up. That's the formula. We need to go back to that. Which might mean you might have to spend. I don't even think they have to spend that much more money to get these players. I mean, I think it's like you have the money on the salary cap. You can spend up to the salary cap. God forbid the Bengals actually do that, but you're allowed to do that. That's where I'm like, if they're smart, which I'm not calling them dumb, but if you're a business and you're looking at, okay, if you're running a business, I made a whole bunch of money this year. I'm not making as much money this year as I did that year. What did I do? You go back in your books and you look what you did. They can go back and see. They don't have to go back and look. Podcasts like mine and yours, and we'll tell them what they did. You can see what they did. Go back to doing that. Why is that so hard to figure out, other than the fact that you might be unwilling to do it, which would just piss me off, because if you're unwilling to do it, sell the damn team. Same thing I would say with the Reds. If you're unwilling to do it, why do you own a professional sports team if you're unwilling to try to do, I'm not saying everything you can to win, but go a little above and beyond. Okay, I'm gonna answer that with the Reds and the Bengals. The Reds don't have. Yeah, Kyle Schwarber would have been awesome. There's other guys you can go get that would help this team. The Bengals don't have to go out and sign the biggest free agent. They can sign some lower tier guys that would help this team. That's the thing. It's like, I'm not asking for a huge jump. Take baby steps. Add to the team. Make them better. Make us have winning teams, because we have a good baseball team. We have a good football team. We're right there, John, for both of them. They just need to go a little bit farther. Like, why is that so hard to do?
So close, it's so far away.
Exactly. It's frustrating. On that note, man, I think I'm going to end this. You do a great job at ADC Sports, and you and the Godfather on Orange and Black Insider Podcast. I just kind of plugged it for you, but plug some stuff for you before you leave.
Yeah, we had a show last night for the Orange and Black Insider Bengals podcast, which you can find on the Believe in Cincy podcast channel, wherever you get your podcasts, and also doing short form A to Z content on YouTube, TikTok, Instagram, A to Z Sports Cincinnati Bengals. Also, Jeff, kind of doing what you're doing now, starting a little live stream every week. This might be just on Fridays. We had the first one last Friday. It was just me yapping for 20 25 minutes. That's what you can kind of expect on the A to Z Sports YouTube channel, on TikTok Live, on Instagram Live. Again, wherever you get your streaming content, it'll be on there. And I don't know if it's always going to be on Fridays, but that's just what the plan is right now. But yeah, we're starting that up, and yeah, watch me just yap.
Well, awesome. I'll have to make sure I check that out. What time do you kind of think you might do that on Fridays? You gotta.
It'll be like midday, so like 1, 2 p.m., something like that.
Well, cool. Well, I will be asleep until Christmas, but after that I'll watch it because I work. Like I said, it's my vampire hours working at UPS. So, but everybody else, make sure you check John out for sure because I will definitely check you out. I enjoy everything you do on your articles and your show with AC. You guys do an awesome job, and maybe someday we'll be able to be back on here talking about the Bengals winning the Super Bowl. That'd be awesome. Or the Reds going to the playoffs and you could actually see them win a playoff series. That'd be awesome. Or the Bearcats beat the freaking Musketeers would be awesome too.
Yeah, I gotta go. I'm not talking about that.
All right, John. I'll see you, buddy. All right, guys. I hope you enjoyed that as much as I did. John's a good dude. Make sure you go check him out. Him and the Godfather are on Orange Black Insider Podcast. I'm still ticked off. I'm not ticked off they didn't sign Kyle Schwarber. I'm ticked off that they didn't do the extra bit, I guess, to get him, which maybe the agent and Kyle Schwarber were using the Reds to get that extra 5th year because that's what I heard the biggest hang up was is he wanted 5 years and the Reds were willing to go 5 years, $125 million. I don't know what he signed for, 160 or whatever it was. It would have been nice to get him. I don't like, and this comment that I read, I think it was on Chatterbox Sports, that the Reds are content with going back to doing what they were been doing, and the only reason they wanted to get Kyle Schwarber is because they thought it would boost ticket sales, which it would, but it would boost ticket sales because you'd probably have a playoff contending baseball team, and that's what we want here in Cincinnati. Bob Castellini, you said it day one when you bought the team. I'm bringing championship baseball back to Cincinnati. That was in 04, 05. Still haven't seen it yet. Still waiting on it. I'm holding you to it. I don't know what I can do about it. Bengals, do better. Change the way you draft and develop. You've got to change something this offseason. You've got to be able to get players that'll make an immediate impact on the defensive side of the ball. I'm not talking offense. Offense, leave the offense alone. Go, unless you can get a left tackle to maybe replace Zeus eventually, not now. But maybe another wide receiver. But other than that, re-sign Reisner. Let him Rivers fight it out for right guard. I want winners. I want to win. I want the Reds to win. I want the Bearcats to win. I want the Bengals to win. And not just because I do a podcast. I'm a fan. I want to win. Oh, we'll see what happens. Anyway, thanks for watching. I've been live streaming on YouTube, Facebook, X, Twitch, Instagram. Hello, Instagram. And you can follow me on all those along with Threads and TikTok. Also, check out my Substack. I haven't written anything in a little while. I will write some more stuff on there. Tomorrow, we will be talking to more Reds, talking to Jeff Carr from Locked On Reds. He'll be joining the show. Find out from the man who knows the inside scoop. Where do the Reds go from here? What are they going to do? Are we going to have a playoff team, or are we going to have more of the same that we had last year? Now, if Ellie De La Cruz doesn't play with a torn quad the whole second half of the season, which when I heard that, I still don't know why they just didn't put him on the disabled list, and because Ellie wasn't Ellie for the second half of the season. Get him healed up and let him come back and play. I don't know why they didn't do that. Either way, I'll be here each and every day talking to you about it Monday through Friday, live at 5:30. Make sure you like, subscribe, share. Check out the podcast. I'll be pulling a sound over later on tonight. Check it out. It's on Beanpot, Apple, iTunes, Spotify, Google, Stitcher Play, pretty much wherever you get your podcast. Do me a favor. Let's do it. Rate it, like it, review it. Leave a 5-star review and a comment so more Cincinnati fans can find my podcast.
All right, shout out to my sponsors. They are Party Lawn and Landscaping for all your lawn and landscaping needs. You need your grass cut, you need shrubbery trimmed, I don't know, you need a paper patio, you need anything. I mean anything. Landscaping required. Think Party Lawn and Landscaping. Also, shout out to T Properties, quality housing for quality people. Check out the website at www.tpropertiesllc.com for all your rental property management needs and your rental needs. And of course, Meyer Window, Door, and more. I got them in my house. I highly recommend you get them in yours. They're energy efficient, great looking windows, easy to clean. Meyer Window, Door, and more. The website is MeyerCincinnati.com. And also, shout out to my favorite brewery, Moorline Lager House. Get on down there, get you some delicious Moorline beer, some delicious Moorline food. And tell them I sent you. Moorline Lager House.
Again, we will be back down at Moorland Lager House this Sunday for the Best Day Brewing pregame experience at the Moorland Lager House. Get your tickets there. They're on Moorland Lager House Facebook page. It's an all-inclusive experience. We got a DJ, we got me, we're giving away prizes. It's going to be an awesome, awesome time. I got a feeling the Bengals are going to beat the Ravens. I just think they're going to. And just keep our glimmer of hope alive. So we'll see what happens. Like I said, join me tomorrow. And remember one thing only. That's Houday for life. I still love the Reds, but I wish they would have signed Kyle Schwarber. That's just sports, baby. See ya!
Another great show. You guys still here? The show's over. You can come back tomorrow. I'm out of here. See ya.